Welcome back, everybody. It's Robert from East Coast Sawing Design. Today I'm going to do a quick run through on how I do my charcuterie and cutting boards. Each one is hand done with very little thought process in advance. Don't really use templates or figuring stuff out. So I'll show you how I do it. First off, this is a piece of birch live edge slab. It was cut on my own small sawmill or tail end of last year. So it's quite dry. I've found that anything 12% and under with the charcuterie board seems to work fine. Some people tell you 8%, 5%. All depends where you live. But this is sitting about 10 to 12% moisture content, so it's plenty dry for the charcuterie board. The bark's already been removed off it and shown off camera. I've run it through my planer a couple times, did what's called skip planing, so I don't have a jointer big enough. So for my charcuterie boards, I tend to go a little bit longer than, go about 1.5 times the width. Just a rough estimate based on that. And then I do my handle. Usually like to do curvy handles coming up like this. But just experiment with what works for you. Sometimes I'll draw it out 2 or 3 times, just get a better view of what I want. So let's bring you guys down a little bit. So in this case, I want to do kind of more of a triangular handle with a triangular hole in the center. So something like that. And I'll sketch this like 2 or 3 times before I'm happy with what I got. So in this case, I'll be cutting that out separately and then roughly following my outline. It doesn't have to be perfect. So something like that. And just for anybody that's curious, the overall surface of the charcuterie board is about 14 inches. The overall length is 21 inches. And it's about 8 inches on average width. And then the handle's going to neck down to 2 inches, and it's an overall width of 5. So give me a second here and I'll reposition for cutting it out with the jigsaw. Alright, so I've got the blank clamped down to my table saw. You need fairly secure surface for this. And there's my jigsaw. I typically run 2 different style blades when I'm cutting charcuterie stock. If I'm doing really intricate boards, I'll use a scrolling type blade. You usually get them, you can buy them standalone, or they come in a lot of multi-packs. They're a little bit thinner for curves versus your standard thickness blade. But I like the heavier, the standard blade for a really thick charcuterie stock. I'm using a rigid thumb grip jigsaw. I would say oscillation, so I can place a little more aggressively than it was just up and down. So here we go. There you go. I'll cut out. So now this cut out, I'm gonna clamp it down, drill some holes, and get this handle. I'm gonna do a triangular handle that follows the shape of the outer. So the only thing is I'm gonna have to do it from the back side because I do have a slightly tapered cut. Just a result of cutting through this relatively thick charcuterie stock. This board is 1 3/4 inches thick, so it was a little bit thicker than I normally would. I'm going to run this through the planer before I continue, so I will be right back. All right, now we got the charcuterie stock taken down to about 1 3/8 inches. It's a little bit thinner. Now I'm going to draw out my handle hole. So I'm just going to aim for about a 1 inch offset here. I mean, it doesn't have to be dead exact. So something like that. Let's see if I can get it a little darker for you guys. So something like that. Nothing major. So we're gonna cut that part out there. So I'm gonna, before I cut it out, I'm gonna take some Forstner bits and drill out the corners. For starters, that'll make it easier for me to turn around with the jigsaw as I'm cutting, but more importantly, it'll allow me to have rounded corners. So just give me 1 second here. So what size you use really doesn't matter. Just depends on the size of your corner. So 5/8 seems to work. So that's a 5/8 Forstner bit. Seems to work there. Seems to work there. This is very open, so any size will work there. So we'll use the 5/8. So I just have a cheap corded drill in my shop, just for stuff like this. And that's all. So there you go, handle cut out. So now we'll take it over to the spindle edge belt sander and we'll run it through and get this all cleaned up. So I'll see you shortly. Okay, so I use a rigid belt spindle sander combo, and for this I'm going to be using two different sizes. This is my smallest, a 1/2 inch. This one I think is 3/4 or 1 inch. We're going to start with the 1/2 inch. This one goes right on the spindle, and that'll get it into the sharp corners around the hole sections. So there we go. As you can see, it did not take very long at all to do the inside. So I put my little washers away. So now I'm going to take my spindle sander insert out and my edge belt sander on. So typically when I'm doing outside curves and handles, I start with 50 grit. Just takes off material a lot faster. And it doesn't take long at all with 80 grit. So take over. We do the routering on the perimeter before primary sanding. Okay, so got the router set up. I'm just using a quarter collet palm router. It's a Makita knockoff, ABT Bessie from Amazon, and I'm using a 1/2 inch round over bit. I like to set my round over bits just a hair under the wingtips, a hair underneath the base plate, and that gives me the full round over. So that was a quick little round over. Makes for a nice comfortable handle. So now we'll get on to sanding. Alright guys, so ready to do sanding on the charcuterie board. I like to run four different grits for sanding. I start off with 80, 120, 150, 220. So we'll put on a fresh 80 grit disc. I use a Walmart Hyper Tough 5-inch random mortar sander. I find it's probably one of the best used tools in my shop. When I'm sanding, I like to do the pencil method. So you scribble pencil all across your surfaces, just your main flat ones. And that lets you know, once all the pencil lines are gone, that you've sanded that area down to completion and you're ready to move on to the next grit. I do the edges first. Typically, I'll do a little bit of burring from my router bits. So I'll do the edges first, and then I'll do the flats, and I'll switch grits, and I'll go through the same process. So here we go. Alright guys, so we successfully sanded our charcuterie board up to 220 grit. It's now ready for finish. And that beautiful white birch. So I won't be finishing it out here in the shop. I use my own blend of beeswax and mineral oil, commonly referred to as board butter, board conditioner, wood butter, any number of names for the same basic finish. I've used Odie's oil in the past. I know a lot of people use straight mineral oil, so you don't have to finish it with one specific product or another. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Give me a thumbs down if you didn't like it. I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe to my channel and check out my other content. I'm going to be focusing more in the workshop for the winter time, and hopefully have more videos out soon. Thanks guys. Have a great day.